All right. Welcome everyone to the El Toro La Liga show. And obviously, today we are going to be talking about La Liga. Obviously, lots has happened over the past few days now, both in Europe and obviously in La Liga and the Segunda as well. Obviously, before we get started, please do hit the like button on the stream. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and obviously, it's going to be a pretty big amount of things to talk about. Obviously, there were actually 11 games, but there's a lot more to get into. But yeah, obviously, it's been a big week for Spanish clubs now, and we might as well get started with the first game of game week 25. Yes, game week 25 we have is Athletic Club taking on Elche. Now, obviously, this game is happening in about a little under 30 minutes. But yeah, Athletic Club Elche, their win probability 56%, draw at 25%, and Elche at 19%. So obviously, Athletic Club winning back-to-back games ever since getting knocked out. They've actually been unbeaten since being knocked out of the Champions League in terms of like La Liga. So that's, you could say, somewhat good. I mean, they're within a shout now to get into the European places. I would say they're back in it. Meanwhile, for Elche, I mean, they're still winless now. It is going to be really tough for them, I'll be honest, to really get results now. And they are precariously in the relegation battle now. So they could get relegated, actually, Elche. And obviously, with this game happening, literally in about a little over 20 minutes, this is the lineup. Simon and goal, Lecuri at right back, Belicic at left back, and then the center backs being Dani Viviana and Laporte, with Rago, Luis de la Garreta, Unai Gomez, Sanchez, Iñaki, Williams on the left, with Guruzzeta center forward. Obviously, Elche have the Toro, Varela, Petrot as the fullbacks, with Bigas and Trust, and obviously the midfield of Morete, Febas, Agrado, and Cepeda, and Silva and Rodriguez up front. So yeah, obviously Athletic Club have been on a decent-ish run of form. Obviously, back-to-back wins, first time in a while that's actually happened for them. So it is going to be a tough game, but I do see Athletic Club winning by the end of it. I'm going for a 2-1 win tonight for Athletic Club. 2-1 will be my prediction for that game. As we move on, obviously, to another Basque side, taking on a relegation-threatened side. And we have here is Real Sociedad taking on Real Oviedo. Obviously, Sociedad have been on good run of form despite the loss to Real Madrid last weekend. 64% win probability for Sociedad, 22% for a draw, and only 14% for Real Oviedo. And obviously, Oviedo just lost to Athletic Club, and they probably should have gotten a result there, but they ended up losing. But yeah, Oviedo are in last place, down at the bottom, but they do have a game in hand, so they could go above Levante even with a win. So yeah, they're still in that relegation battle along with Levante. I think both are, I would say, kind of set now by the end of the season to get relegated. I'll be honest, I do think it will end up being two of those teams, both of them going down. Third team, I don't know. At the moment, it is looking like it's Mallorca, but we'll find out. As for Sociedad, despite the loss, they're still within the battle to get into Europe. They're only 3 points behind Celta Vigo, 4 points behind Espanyol, and obviously 6th and 7th place do get European football, it seems like. Unless Sociedad goes on to win the Copa del Rey, then it doesn't really matter where they finish in the league. So obviously that's a big boost for them heading into that second leg in about like in less than 2 weeks from now, that second leg. But yeah, it is going to be tough for them. But I just think that the run of form they had, despite the loss to Madrid the last week, I'm actually going with a Sociedad win. I'll go 2-0, 2-0 Sociedad. So I'm saying it'll be a good start for the Basque sides. Meanwhile, the next game, if I could pop it up here. And let's go to the chat as well. Big up to Brandon. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, the next game we have, as you guys can see, it is Real Betis taking on Rayo Vallecano. Obviously, Betis did not play. Actually, both teams didn't play in the sort of midweek European games because both of them finished in the top 8. Betis in the Europa, Vallecano in the conference. So yeah, they both had a bit of rest, you could say. Betis at 50% win probability, 27% for draw, and 23% for Rayo Vallecano win. And Betis, with the GOAT Anthony, they're chasing. I think they're now in the mix to get in the Champions League places because it feels like the Spanish clubs will not get that extra Champions League spot by the end of this season. So Betis, they could do something here. And obviously, Atleti have something to look at. Sorry, someone just texted me. Texted, not sexted. Texted. But yeah, Betis are definitely now chasing for that Champions League spot now with 3 straight wins, 4 wins in the last 5. Actually, I think it's 5 wins in the last 6. So they're doing quite well. I think they have 5th place, at least top 5 locked in, I would say. I think they have enough quality by the end of the season to finish in the top 5. But obviously, finishing 5th isn't going to help them. So they have to, try to secure Champions League football. And obviously, Rayo Vallecano, they did win this past weekend by helping Betis by beating Atlético Madrid. Yes, the game was at Leganes, basically, but they got the win. I would say it's probably a surprising result for me. And it's a good confidence booster for Rayo Vallecano. However, I just think Betis, they're on a good run of form. Obviously, they don't have to play in the midweek. Same thing with Rayo Vallecano, but I just think Betis just have a bit more quality, and they've been showing it. So I'm going with a 3-1 win for Betis. 3-1 for Betis. Next up, we do have here is Osasuna taking on Real Madrid. Let me just sort this out. Yeah, Osasuna taking on Real Madrid in La Liga. Win probability is 20% Osasuna, 23% for draw, and Real Madrid at 57% win probability. And for the first time in a long while, probably since November or December or like mid-November, Real Madrid are now top of La Liga. They have won, if I'm not mistaken, they have won every single game in the year of 2026 in La Liga. That's because of Barcelona's loss this past Monday, but Real Madrid got that big win that they needed. Obviously got that win in the Champions League over Benfica. I'm not going to talk too much about it. I know everyone has an opinion on it. I'm not going to discuss it here. This is La Liga. But yeah, Real Madrid are top of La Liga now, and now they have the ascendancy with 14 games to go. So yeah, that's a huge confidence booster for them, with Barcelona chasing them. Osasuna, meanwhile, they've also been on a good run of form, actually, which is, I wouldn't say I'm surprised, but they've definitely helped themselves, aside from Pamplona. Definitely in that not Champions League race, but European spots. I think from 6th place, Espanyol, all the way to maybe If I'm going to be honest, probably until Osasuna. I know you could add Getafe and Girona, but I think it's between the five here: Espanyol, Celta, Sociedad, Athletic, and Osasuna. So yeah, Osasuna in a good run of form. Real Madrid winning every single game. Obviously, El Sadar could be a tough ground, but maybe Real Madrid get the job done here. I'm going 1-0 Real Madrid to beat Osasuna. I've been actually saying they get draws before, but I think Real Madrid get the win. Next up, it's fourth against sixth place. We do have here is Atletico Madrid taking on Espanyol. Now, obviously, Atletico Madrid have been on a topsy-turvy form, you could say the least. Doing very well in the Copa del Rey, have a 4-goal lead in that, but just lost to not Betis, lost to Rayo Vallecano. Well, actually, they did lost to Betis and Rayo Vallecano in La Liga the last two games, and they drew 3-all in the Champions League against Club Brugge, though they do have the second leg at home on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. Espanyol, believe it or not, with the win probability, 65% Atletico Madrid, 21% for a draw, 14% Espanyol win. Espanyol, or probably, if I'm not mistaken, maybe Elche, but I think Elche won at the start of January. Espanyol have not won a single game in the year of our Lord, 2026. They've been on free fall. And the good thing is that their first half of the season, they've done really well to be in this position. So I don't think they're not going to get relegated, but this is a huge concern for Manolo and the team. Yeah, it's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good for Espanyol, but they are, quote unquote, the team on the ascendancy in terms of where they are in the league, but I don't think that'll last long if they continue this bad run of form. They've been the most not informed team in La Liga. So yeah, I'll be honest. Look, Atleti back-to-back losses. They now see Betis are hot on their heels. I think they'll go and get the win here against the side that has yet to win in 2026. Could be a big scoreline, but I'll just go with a modest 2-0 win. 2-0 win for Atletico Madrid. Next up, we do have here is Getafe taking on Sevilla with the chat as well. Big up to Dantrum. Hope you're doing well. I don't know why it's... who cares? But yeah, hope you're doing well. But yeah, Getafe taking on Sevilla in La Liga. Getafe finally won a game as well. I think they've won back-to-back, if I'm not mistaken. Sevilla, doing okay, but not great. 39% win probability for Getafe, 33% for a draw, 28% Sevilla win. Getafe are 11th. Yeah, they did win back-to-back games. Well, surprised they're finally getting back into form. Sadly, I want them down, but oh well. Meanwhile, Sevilla got the draw this past weekend. Not the most satisfying result. It was okay. I think it was against Alavés as well. Deportivo Alavés. But look, both sides, I would say not super impressed with either team. I don't think either will get European football, but I also don't think either will get relegated. I think they have just enough quality somehow to get over the line, not get relegated, but not have enough to get European football. I think they'll just finish where they are mid-table. It's just been a bit, man. I mean, 20 goals for Getafe. I mean, I'm not going to bother watching them. I'll be honest. I mean, heck, apart from Oviedo, they are the lowest goal scorers, second lowest goal scorers in the entire season of La Liga right now after 24 games. So you probably expect low scoring in a team like Getafe. But they are at home. maybe they can get that momentum going. But actually, I'll go with an away win. Actually, I'll go 2-0. I'll go 2-0 Sevilla. Maybe they get the result here away. Next up, this is probably one of the most, you could say, one-sided games. And that being this one. Barcelona taking on Levante. Now, actually, both teams hit a shit, you could say, this past weekend, or Levante's case, twice in the space of a few days. Barcelona lost the derby against Girona 2-1, which obviously surrendered Barcelona's lead of La Liga, whereas Levante, they lost the derby to Valencia. They also technically lost the other derby to Villarreal. So it's not looking good, bruv. I think, and they didn't score in either game. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe they hosted both games. They were at home both games and scored no goals. I think that for me, I think is a killer for Levante. I don't think they'll survive now. Win probability still 88% Barcelona, 8% for a draw, only 4% for Levante win. 4% win probability, 4% hope. But yeah, as I said, Barcelona need to get back into form if they have to get back to winning ways. If they want, if Real Madrid somehow drop points to Osasuna. But I think Barcelona will have it tough against Levante, who, want to show a bit of pride. Despite Levante being near the bottom of the table, they could be bottom of the table if Oviedo win on Saturday. But yeah, I just think those two losses against Valencia and Villarreal, both of them rivals for Levante, both of them were at home. I just think that killed maybe a bit of hope they have. I think Levante are down. I really don't see it happening. And, they're actually, if I'm not mistaken, they are the worst defensive team in La Liga. When you look at they conceded 41 goals. They're the only team to reach 40 minimum of goals conceded. Yeah, they do score goals, but they didn't score goals in the two games against Valencia and Villarreal. So it's just not looking good, bruv. It is not looking good. I just see Barcelona winning. Barcelona, the top goal scorers of La Liga, taking on the worst defense team in terms of goals conceded in La Liga. And I think Barcelona get back into form. I'll go 3-0. I'll go 3-0 Barcelona. I just don't see Levante getting much from the game. So, yeah, 3-0 Barcelona. And next up we do have is Celta Vigo taking on Mallorca. Both sides in run of form. Celta Vigo 52% win probability, 27% for a draw, and Mallorca 21% win. Celta Vigo obviously last night, as I'm recording or live, just played in Greece, so it's a long travel from Greece to Vigo. But they are in 7th, but they haven't won any of the last 4 La Liga games, and they host a team that's in the relegation zone in Mallorca. Mallorca are also really bad defensively. Actually, the second worst defense, along with Levante. So it's no surprise. But they do score goals. I will say that. But yeah, it's a tough game. Mallorca can take advantage. This is actually, when you think about it, this is the longest away day for Mallorca, going from the Balearic Islands all the way to the literal west coast, like the literal almost west coast of Galicia. So it's a huge travel actually both teams had. But I'll be honest, I do think Mallorca can get a result. I do. but I'll go with a draw. I'll go 1-1. I'll go 1-1 between Celta and Mallorca. Speaking of Levante earlier, we are talking about the two teams that beat them the past week. It's Villarreal taking on Valencia in a quote-unquote another derby in Valencia. Or not really Valencia, but you know what I mean. Yeah, look, Villarreal literally have nothing else apart from La Liga to focus on. Same thing with Valencia. Win probability 56% Villarreal, 24% draw, 20% Valencia win. Villarreal are in third place at the moment. Will they hold on? Maybe. But yeah, it's all about just making sure they finish in the top 4 of La Liga. So yeah. And then for Valencia, 26 points. But they did obviously win the derby, so it's a good result away as well. So could Valencia win back-to-back away derbies? Maybe. But I just think Villarreal just have a little bit too much quality, especially at home. And they do turn up at home. I'll go 2-1. I'll go 2-1 Villarreal win. That would be my prediction. And the final La Liga game we do have is Alavés taking on Girona. Obviously, Girona just played on Monday. Now they play on Monday again, this time away at Alavés or Victoria Gasteiz. 41% win probability for Alavés, 31% for a draw, and 28% Girona win. Both teams relatively the same. Girona on 29 points, Alavés on 26 points. But Girona with that big win over Barcelona, one of only 3 teams, if I'm not mistaken, or 4 teams actually. Right? Yeah, 4 teams to have beaten Barcelona in La Liga. As for Alavés, I mean, they are one of the highest teams in terms of losing. 12 losses in 24, so half the games they've lost. But maybe they can get a result here against a Girona team that are vulnerable, I would say, still, despite that win over Barcelona. And I am actually going for a... I'll go 2-1 Alavés. I'll go 2-1 Alavés as my prediction for that. And now it is time for the El Toro de la Semana, the best player of the week. And big up to Don Deng. And yeah, what did Eray do? If you see the thumbnail, actually, and big up to Don Deng. After the Levante Valencia game, so it finished 2-0 for Valencia. The game was in the Levante stadium, but they're from the same city, Levante and Valencia. He put his shirt, Eray Cömert, put his Valencia shirt, on the corner flag and waved it, basically, in front of the Levante fans. Talk about shithousery and all that sort of stuff. It's one of those scenes, you know. So he basically waved the corner flag, the Levante corner flag, with a Valencia shirt in front of Levante fans after they beat them this past weekend. So yeah, that's what happened in that game, after the game actually. But yeah, in terms of the El Toro de la Semana, the best player of the week, I'm going for not Kendrick Lamar, I'm going Thomas Lamar. For Girona, obviously getting that big win over, who did you call this? Barcelona this past Monday. Obviously scored the opening goal, or actually the equalizing goal of that game. And obviously it led to Girona winning by a score of 2-1 this past Monday. So he is the El Toro de la Semana, the best player of the weekend. or the best player of the week. And now it is time for the Segunda. There we go. So yeah, the results of game week 26. Yeah, 26, a bit ahead. We had Almeria beating Andorra 3-2. You had Cordoba beating Leganes 2-1. So Leganes' decent run of form has ended on Valentine's Day. Burgos 1, Cadiz 1. Leonessa 0, Zaragoza 0. You had Granada smashing Valladolid 5-1. And Valladolid are in deep trouble now. Miranda's 1, Las Palmas 1. Shocking performance from Las Palmas. Their run of form in 2026 has been terrible. Same thing with Miranda's anyway. Huesca 2, Ceuta 0. Ceuta got a red card. Look at Racing Club Santander. Bottlers. They are bottling it. Santander. 2-1 loss away at Eibar. Albacete 1, Gijón 1. To be honest, I kind of expected us to lose. Fortunately, Castellón 2, Deportivo La Coruña 0. You then had Sociedad B beating Malaga 2-1, which was a good result for Depor. So it was something good for us that happened this weekend. With the upcoming games being happening right now, it's 0-0 Ceuta Granada. Leganes taking on Portugal Leonesa. And then obviously tomorrow you have Deportivo La Coruña taking on Eibar. A bit of me wants to go to the game, but I do have a little bit of priorities that I'll probably just wait till later on in the season, unfortunately. And then you have Huesca taking on Mirandes. You have Almeria taking on Cordoba. Also, I predicted in La Piña Rosa, the one that's kind of for now suspended, that show with Charlie. I think I said a win for Deportivo. But yeah, you obviously have an Andalusian derby, Almeria Cordoba. So I hope Cordoba wins. Las Palmas, please, can you turn around your form against Castellón? Please. It'll be typical. But that's probably game of the weekend. Las Palmas taking on Castellón. You have Gijón taking on Valladolid. Andorra taking on Zaragoza. You have Santander taking on Burgos. Not really a derby, but they're kind of close to each other. You then have Malaga taking on Albacete. And then on Monday, it is Cadiz taking on Sociedad B. So yeah, with obviously... Oh, and as I speak, literally as I scroll up, Ceuta are ahead against Granada. 1-0. So, literally, as we speak, 2-1. 1-0, actually. But yeah, the top 6 right now, obviously the top 2 get automatic promotion. Castellón are the new leaders of the Segunda. I wonder who gave them that win to get them top. But Santander are in second. Almeria are now in third, with Deportivo La Coruña in fourth. Obviously, I think we have to win the next game. And obviously, not this weekend, but next weekend. I don't know if I'll do a watch long, but doing, I believe it'll be Castillo. I think it's Santander against Castellón. Could be a watch along. Could be a watch along next weekend. I might do that. Top of the table clash. Kind of a hate watch, you could say, of both teams. I don't hate either team, but obviously I would prefer Deportivo to be in the top 2 by the end of the season. So it's a head-to-head clash. Las Palmas in 5th, but bad run of form. And then you have Malaga in 6th. Also have lost 2 of the last 3 games. So that's the playoffs, or minimum playoffs. And then the teams chasing: Cordoba, literally by goal difference. Burgos on 40. Gijón on 40 as we speak. Ceuta winning against Granada. They're in 10th. Eibar in 11th. Good run of form. Oh, God, this is where Deportivo fucks up, right? Cadiz and Albacete, not bad, but not great. Now, obviously, Cadiz haven't won a game, if I'm not mistaken, in 2026. Leganes on 32 with Granada, who are losing right now on 32. Sociedad B and Huesca. That's the teams just above the relegation zone. Or actually, Andorra above the relegation zone. But who's in the relegation zone? You actually, when you think about, we have 3 teams from the autonomous community of Castilla y León in the relegation battle. The bottom 4 gets relegated, and Valladolid are in the relegation zone. Who would have thought? I'll be honest, I'm surprised where they are actually, Valladolid. The other 3 then that are in the bottom 3, I'm not that surprised they're in the bottom 4 or in the relegation zone. And most likely those 3 will go down, I'll be honest, I think ultimately. But Valladolid going down would be, I would say, catastrophic. Back-to-back relegations, not great for Valladolid, especially, I wouldn't call them a big club, but yeah, not great for Valladolid. I do think, I'll be honest, I do think ultimately Leonesa, Zaragoza, and Mirandas do not survive by the end of the season with about 14 games to go as well. I do think, I'll be honest. The bottom 4, as I said, do get relegated from the Segunda. So, yeah, that is it for the El Toro La Liga show. Obviously, game week 25, with the game starting up now, obviously, in La Liga and the Segunda as well. As we speak, obviously, in the Segunda, there has been a goal, obviously, and Athletic Club. Elche have just started. It is 0-0 still. But, yeah, obviously, the next time I'll be on... Oh, my God. Am I lagging? I mean... Why am I lagging? Okay, I think I'm fine. But yeah, obviously I will be back probably with Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, for... Why am I lagging? Okay, I hope I'm not lagging more. Anyways, I'll be back on Tuesday for Newcastle United watch along against Karabag. I know the game's practically done, but I already scheduled it. So yeah, please, as I said, please do hit the like button on the stream. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.